Islamic State fighters, as we've been hearing, have launched offensives targeting 2 cities in that part of the world.
Tonight I want to speak to you about what the United States will do with our friends and allies. Our objective is clear. We will degrade and ultimately destroy ISIL through a comprehensive and sustained counterterrorism strategy. ISIL is a terrorist organization, pure and simple. The United States of America is meeting them with strength and resolve. I can announce that America will lead a broad coalition to roll back this terrorist threat.
Sounds simple enough. This is the start of Operation Inherent Resolve, a bespoke campaign you can purchase from the DCS store or over on Steam. I chose to take this one on because I actually deployed in support of Operation Inherent Resolve and spent some time there back in 2016. I was a ground force commander with a special operations element. I obviously know very little about the flying aspect of it, but hopefully we can learn a little bit more about it together. I don't know that I was ever supported directly by F-18s. Had some other stuff, mostly Air Force stuff, F-15s, F-16s, some ISR stuff, and had a great experience over there for the most part, or as good as an experience you can have in that sort of environment. And I thought that this campaign was an appropriate place to start a single-player playthrough and check it out. The campaign has kind of mediocre reviews, which I was fine with because I'm interested in this historical setting, and I'm also interested in the campaign itself as a play style because it's mostly going to be ground attack, I would assume. Relatively low threat. It's not like Daesh had a pretty, a sophisticated surface-to-air capability. So in that regard, it shouldn't be particularly difficult. But here we go. We are currently stationed in Incirlik, Turkey, at an air base flying out of here in support of operations in Syria and potentially, I guess, northwestern Iraq, because the map does cover that. We are in the Syria campaign. We are also in the Hornet, as you guys can see. Today, our very first mission has us loaded up with a kind of CAS loadout. It's our first operation in country, and the briefing tells us that we are to take off, link up with a couple fighters from the French Air Force. They're going to take us on a quick fly around to orient us to the terrain. We're going to link up with Sabre 2-0 on the radio, and Sabre 2-0, I believe, is a JTAC on the ground, who's going to help us employ some of these weapons, get familiar with the aircraft, get familiar with the environment,
roll left,
and take it for a spin. I typically use the auto start sequence because, while I can follow a checklist and cold start the aircraft, I prefer just to use the auto start. It's easier, and a lot of times I find myself programming weapons and, looking at my mission, programming my loadout, consulting the ground crew while the aircraft is getting booted up, which I think is perfectly fine. Now that my DDIs are up, I can come down in here and start getting to work just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and set my takeoff trim right now. I'm also going to check my stores page because the mission brief actually didn't even tell me what my loadout was. I could see the wings there, but I couldn't see much else. So we do have fuel. We have 2, I don't know what 45s are, so we've got stuff here that I'm not used to. It looks like Snake Eyes on the right, or CBUs. Not Snake Eyes, so yeah, CBUs on the right. We've got extra gas. We've got 40, what is a 45 on the center line? Training bombs, it looks like. Yeah, Mark 82 trainers. We got rocket pods on the wing over here on the left as well. So that is all well and good. Nothing that I'm going to program here for now. I will go ahead and turn RWR on just in case. I will set this over to my HUD so that I get data on the HUD, double checking that my brightness is set up all the way on the HUD. It indeed is. My HIMIX is also on. Bit tests are running as intended. I'm going to go ahead and arm my ejection seat. Typically we wouldn't do that until we're taxiing over towards the main, but right now I'm just getting it done so that we are good to go. Don't expect to be needing countermeasures on this mission, but I am going to set my dispenser to bypass just in case I need to program them in a hurry. There's a whole bunch of waypoints here as well. If we go to... There's no map in here, unfortunately. It doesn't look like. If we come in here even closer. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a map. Oh, there it is. You have to get real close, down to 10 miles. Yeah, so we're up here at Incirlik Air Base. We're going to be flying, turn the gain down here so it's a little bit easier to see. I got waypoint 1 boxed here. We'll go ahead and sequence that. And we can see we're going to be flying up here to the, I think that's the northeast looping over further to the east over towards the weapon range. I'm going to go ahead and back this off to 40. Oh, let's take a look at the 160 real quick. So yeah, kind of like a figure 8 off in that direction. Go ahead and set this to 40 and then check this message. Once your aircraft is fully started, take some time to get comfortable with your surroundings. Check your kneeboard for mission details. We'll do that in just a moment. We're going to go ahead and turn on our IFF. We are in a combat zone now, so it's important that we are not broadcasting anything other than a friendly electromagnetic signal. Data link is on as well. I think other than that we're good to go. Go ahead and set bingo at 2,000 pounds. And I'm going to pre-select my fuel pylons before we depart as well so that I can dump them in the event of an emergency. Again, training flight, so I'm not expecting an emergency, but it could always happen. I'll leave it on safe for now. Flip it over if I need to later on. Alright, that all looks good. Over here, I like taking off with my attack radar visible just so I can see what is out in front of me. And because this is a training flight, I'm just going to keep it on a giant, useless, almost 4-bar, 140-degree RWS B sweep. So no concerns there. Not touching my course or my heading for now. I'm going to reduce my radar altimeter squawk down to 150 because I think we're doing a low-level infill. I don't want to get beeped at the entire time. But if I go below 150, I certainly want to get beeped at. Double checking my lights back here. That is on, that is off. I'm going to leave them off for now since we're in daylight hours, so I don't have any major concerns there. Not touching my ECMs for now, not expecting any threats that will require them. I think that I am ready to go, so we'll go ahead and, as the mission indicator up here says, click spacebar to begin the mission. I have pushed that. The mission is now starting, and we are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and engage nose wheel steering. I'm expecting I will need to taxi here before too long.
Striker, welcome to Operation Inherent Resolve. You'll be part of the most advanced military force ever assembled. But make no mistake, we'll be fighting some pretty bad actors out there, and it will be messy. Now, we're still getting set up here, but things are coming along nicely. Be sure to access your kneeboard for the missions. We'll provide details of the sortie, your orders, and any intel we may have. Also, be aware that you will be using the Communications F10 menu for orders. First up, we're going to give you a quick run around the block to make sure you can fly. Get yourself up to the ranges and see what the guys up there need.
Striker, this is Ramex 51. We're just getting ready to taxi. Please follow us out to the active and we will escort you to the weapons range.
Good deal. So the French are going to take us out to the weapons range. I think this is our ground guide here. I got nose wheel steering activated. I'm going to go ahead and follow this Humvee out to the range nice and slow. See another Humvee taxiing over there.
Ramex 51, taxi.
Yeah, there's Ramex 51. He's going ahead to taxi. I guess this guy is not our ground guide. He's just clearing out for us. We're going to follow these two. Look at those liveries. Those look lovely. That's cool. Where are we headed, boys? I don't know if that's my 2. Yeah, he's already hot started. Look at that exhaust coming off of it. Looks badass. This game's gorgeous. I'm playing on a beast of a machine. This is a custom rig from the dudes over at Meta PCs. They hooked me up. Actually worked a deal with them after they built me this 4090 monster. So if you are on the market for a giant gaming rig or even something more modest, they are a great source. They've been very, very good to me. I've been very impressed with the build quality and the overall performance of this machine. As you guys can see, this is basically everything you can, maxed out in DCS, still getting 100 plus frames all the way through, even with all these assets on the ground. If you go over there and you shop at Meta PCs, you can get a discount when you check out. If you hit code PAIRS at checkout, type that in, it'll save you a little bit of money. They're also running a sale right now through January. DCS is not a cheap hobby, I have found, nor is PC gaming at all across the board, but certainly worthwhile if you get into it. I'm also using a HOTAS, a flight stick, of course. I'm using head tracking. I'm using the Delin Clip Fusion rather than Track IR. I think they're, pretty similar. I've had this one for years and had great quality with it. The HOTAS I'm using is a Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog and their base, and then I'm also using their F-18 Hornet grip, which is bound essentially exactly like the Hornet is bound in real life, which I've gotten a kick out of, and it's been just a huge, huge help to get this thing working. I've got Thrustmaster pedals as well. They're one of their cheaper models. They seem to do fine for me, although I'm absolutely terrible at taxiing and taking off, as we're about to see. Looks like these boys are already getting up in the air. We'll go ahead and follow them out. I'm assuming they got takeoff clearance because they just took the main and sent it down the center line. So we will do the same. They are wheels up. I'm going to go ahead and get on the brakes. Double check my flaps are to half. They indeed are. On the throttle, on the brakes, and burners, off brakes.
Wheels up.
They are already wheels up. Light inputs to nose wheel steering here until we're focused right down the center line. Should rotate pretty easy. Nose wheel steering disengaged. Full rudders now. We are taxiing. That is not a flat runway. Gears coming up, gears up. Flaps are coming up, flaps are up. Alright, following these boys out. I got a little bit of drag, so I'm going to start trimming the aircraft, bring the right wingtip down just a little bit, coming out of burners.
Striker 3-4, wheels up.
I'm going to step over to SA, scan this in just a little bit. I do have these guys.
2, wheels up.
Alright, 2 is here with me. I copied the mission brief over to a notepad that I've got on my other screen so I can reference it throughout.
Hiker 3-4, this is Ramex 5-1. We are airborne. Heading 054 at 1000. Stay low after takeoff and continue to follow your waypoints. We will RV at waypoint 2 at about 300 knots. Okay, so we are about to turn north, so we descend into low level, plugging in some power. And that's it, we are down. Looking for 600 feet and heading for the lake. Striker, maintain trail formation. And over the lake. Bearing right as we head for the canyon, easing the speed down slowly. And there we go, beautiful. Stay with us. Okay, Striker, we are about to enter the weapons range. Maintain open trail formation.
Alright, sounds like we've about arrived. These boys just hit the brakes and didn't call it.
Striker 34, this is Sabre 20. How you copy?
Sabre 20. Guess we gotta check in with our boy. Sabre 20 is the JTAC on the ground. Over at their weapons range. Using the F10 menu, the comms menu, just quickly check in with him.
We're on TACAN 301 X-ray. I repeat, TACAN 301 X-ray.
Alright, TACAN 31 X-ray. I'll dial that here in a second just as well. Let's go TACAN on 31X. So now I've got a TACAN indicator on the ground as well, so I'll be able to visual friendlies as we approach the weapons range and presumably employ munitions for training in close proximity to that JTAC and ground force. They're looking for a show force over the FOB. That's hilarious. And accurate. I mean, if you've got fast movers on station and they've got some play time, the boys always appreciate a good show force. I think what I'll do over here, my dispenser is set to bypass, so I will go ahead and I'll dump a couple flares for the boys as well. I wonder if these French boys are coming with us. Up, green smoke off to the left, presumably the FOB. Let's do it. I'm in full burners, treetop level. About to start a fire over this thing. Backing off the burners because the French don't want to play apparently. Oh, they do. They do. Let's go. Let's do it. Yes. 0.85 Mach. Flares out. Back out of burners to not overfly these guys. I'd say that's a pretty rowdy check-in. I like it.
Okay, Striker. First target set. We've got a suspected insurgent camp up in the hills. We need you to confirm visually.
I'm gonna go to Master Arms, still safe.
Target area 1.
Looking for an insurgent camp of some sort. I'm assuming just from a mission design perspective they would put it along the waypoints.
Striker, this is Ramex 5-1, preparing to break formation and exit low level. We will go into a hold position at 10,000. Thanks for the ride.
See you, boys.
Striker, copy.
I'm gonna say just below this cloud deck up here, climbing high so I can look out my right window. Thinking the next waypoint might be the insurgent camp, so I'm scanning for that now. I don't know if this is like a bombing range target or if this is like a real world. They actually have a suspected training camp up here somewhere. It's a 5 mile. If I were an ISIS training camp just on the Syrian border with Turkey, where would I be? Oh, right there.
Altitude. Altitude.
All right. So that is just, yeah, it's in vicinity of the waypoints. That makes sense.
Striker 34, confirm you have visual on the camp.
Visual your camp, my boy.
Roger, 72. I see him. Bunch of tents, lots of trucks, and looks like armed fighters down there too.
Wow. Okay, so it's a real world target, I suppose. I'm gonna climb into an orbit here.
Okay, Striker, we want you to mark the target with a smoke bomb. Drop a BDU-45 on the camp. We've got some MLRS systems up here, and we need to lose a few rounds before they go off.
I like it. So he's just doing like a Type 3 bomb on target.
Roger, 72. Setting up my attack run.
There's nothing within doctrinal standards about that, but I love how simple it is as far as like the call-in. So I'm going to go ahead, go Master Arm on, select my 45s. I'm going to make sure that they are actually, you know what, we already got a target down there, so let's go auto. Let's be wild. Mechanical fuse is in the nose. UFC, I'm just going to confirm quantity 1, multiple 1. That bomb is ready to go off the rails. Target looks good. Right now we're 2.4 miles from the target. I am going to adjust that target just to make sure it's really in vicinity of the camp. I'm going to do that by set my sensor control switch back to my HUD using the TDC to slew the target onto the camp as best as I can. I'm going to stay this right hand orbit right at the cloud level. Add a few G's here just to make sure that I am right on that camp. Bring it down a little bit. I like that, right? Oh, come on. Not easy. That looks good right there. See vehicles, there's some insurgents with weapons, it looks like, over there as well. We're at 12,000 feet. I'm going to go out here about 4 or 5 miles and buck a U. Get right on that bomb fall line. Confirming again, master arm is on. We're in air-to-ground mode. I have 45 selected. Bombs are programmed. Targets designated. They are showing ready on the HUD. So we're going to fly that bomb fall line straight and level at about 11.5 Angels. Watch that bomb come off the rails. Hopefully it's nice and on target so that they can then send MLRS at it, question mark. I would suspect that you're probably not designating for MLRS with a smoke, but you know, I like it. It's a challenging, or at least fun little gameism. Turn back in towards the target now. We're 6 miles out, adding a little bit of power into this turn. Coming back off the throttle as we arrive towards the target. Target's right there. 12,000 feet. Alright, nose on the target. I'm going to go ahead and set a barometric altitude hold. So all I'm doing is messing with the trim. I've got 20 seconds to get on that mark. Altitude hold's doing its job. 315 knots shown. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to keep it steady. Aircraft's not really in trim for this direction. I'm adding a little bit of trim here as well. We have 8 seconds till release. And depressing weapon release. Bomb away. 22 seconds to impact. Leave that target designated for now just in case we need another one. Trimming the aircraft while I have the opportunity to do it. We'll find out momentarily, I suppose, if we have a good mark on that bomb. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smoke impact. Let's see if that satisfies our JTAC on the ground. Oh, look at that, boys. Look at that. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Alright, he wants us north of the target right now. We are 060, going to come left to head to 000. Presumably he wants us north so that he can put MLRS on it. He wants us out of that gun to target line, out of the splash area. When you shoot MLRS, HIMARS, Gimlers, whatever the case may be, those things go high and far. Right now over at FOB Marley, probably about, I don't know, 8 or 10 miles. So that's really a chip shot, frankly, for rocket artillery. Might even be a minimum shot for rocket artillery.
Striker 34, this is Sabre 20, rounds inbound on target. Repeat, rounds inbound on target. 30 seconds for effect.
Alright, so he's
Stand back.
30 seconds from effect on that target. I'm going to disable autopilot, come below this cloud level, just because I've never seen MLRS impact in this game before. You can see the target right there. We're low enough here that we're, you know, if this was an air coordination area, we would be outside the gun to target line. Give it a little bit of right stick here, slowing down the throttle quite a bit, leveling off. Bringing it straight and level, putting barometric altitude hold back on, and watching the fireworks. Oh yeah, let's go. That's cool. Just flattening a terrorist training camp first day on the job, not bad. Good deployment so far. Holy crap.
Sabre 2, this is Striker. Good hits.
Looking good.
Striker, continue to follow your waypoints for target 2.
Alright, back on the waypoints. Target 2, I guess I'm coming left, I don't really know. Auto on the HSI, that means as I approach the target, it's automatically going to toggle me to the next one. So in this case, you can see my aircraft wing form approaching the target as I pass through that waypoint. It'll automatically jump me to the next waypoint, which will give me a steering cue, as you can see there. Everything pivots, snaps the next waypoint. Next waypoint is over yonder. I can reference the tape at the top of my HUD. This little green tick mark right here is telling me to steer left for waypoint number 10, currently 23.9 miles away, so I'm doing precisely that. I'm showing 14 miles to waypoint 10. Target number 2 is between waypoints 11 and 12. Okay, so waypoint 2 is ingress for target number 2.
Striker, be advised, man-pads interplay have been spotted in your area.
We might die out here, boys. Alright, I'm going to leave that up because that's my most helpful one. And confirming this is set to bypass.
Break.
RWR did not pick up any radar guided AAA, and I didn't see any. Brother, you can't just call AAA head break and not tell me why. About scared the hell out of me though. So I am kind of reassessing the mission here, and the call out from Stryker was that there's a convoy in this lake area. We have to confirm visual on it. I'm looking for that convoy now. I have yet to see it. I think like one of the biggest challenges in air-to-ground anything, it's correlating the aircraft sensors and weapons with the controller's sensors. And that's exactly what's happening now. I wish this campaign did a slightly better job of making it all work together more seamlessly. Oh, there it is. Roger that. That's not civilian traffic, is it? That is a legit convoy. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and designate that target.
Saber 2, I got the convoy visual. Traveling southwest, lakeside, around 10 vehicles. That's the M Striker. Engage the convoy with the cluster bombs. You can finish them off with the rockets.
Alright, cluster bombs it is. Let's go ahead and select those guys. I'm going to put them into CCIP because these guys are moving. We'll leave them in VT. The burst height right now is set at 300. That's fine based on how close the vehicles are. Pretty low for these munitions, to be honest. We're going to drop one at a time. We've got 2 of them. I'm good with that. And it looks like we can task the wingman to push as well. I'm getting a little bit of altitude since these are going to burst low. I'll undesignate my target as we get close and transition over to CCIP. I have that target designated on the ground right now just as a reference point in my HUD. I'm also mindful of my fuel. I double-checked the knee boards, which we also got more information on this go-around, as you guys can see. And the knee boards are showing a bingo of 3,500. It is a pretty good trek back to Incirlik. We are on the verge of a stall. There it is. Adding gas, gaining speed, looking for my target. I'm guessing that's going to be my release point. Undesignating the target. Wings level. At release, ideally. Nose down. We are so low. I'm going to pickle it there.
Striker 3-4, bombs away.
Pulling up and away. I'm going to push my wingman now as well.
2, attacking targets.
That was the lowest cluster release maybe ever. I don't know if we had good effects or not. Alright, the second run here I'm going to get a little bit more altitude. Not the real ideal weaponeering solution for this, to be honest. Adding gas. Up and over. Coming off the gas, taking it into free fall. Leveling off the wings. Looking for the target. Visual the target. And pickle.
Altitude.
Can't tell if we had good effects or not. Nope, landed long. Boys, this is not going well. Alright, we're going to go ahead and sling some of these rockets. I've got them in single fire here. Hopefully I suck less with rockets.
Altitude.
Alright,
Altitude.
thumb is hovering over weapons release. Waiting on range. In range. And sending it. One more. Not too shabby. One rocket left, then we'll have to go guns. In hindsight, I haven't used a lot of cluster munitions in this game. 300 was not sufficient. That convoy was hella spread out. 300 feet just covered what would have been 2 vehicles, and since the rounds went long, it didn't matter. Now the target is nice and marked for us, which is helpful. I have one rocket left. See if we can do any damage with it. I'm going to go ahead and put on a hot gun as well.
Altitude. Altitude.
And guns.
Pull up! Pull up!
Looks like we have 2 vehicles left side of the road. Guns are already in range. Speed's looking nice and slow. No one's shooting at us, so that's okay.
Altitude.
Give them a little bit of guns. Small arms coming at us a little bit. Are we convoy destroyed yet, boys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There might be one vehicle still up over there. I'll go back for one more run through. Got 323 rounds left. Nose on. Looking for BDA.
Altitude.
Got one more vehicle
Altitude.
right here. And he looks destroyed. Alright, I think that's all of our vehicles destroyed. Checking in with our boy one more time.
Okay, Striker, looks like you're
Alright, he's good.
Well done. Egress the range to the west. Advise a vertical pull out to 15,000 feet for RTB in click. Nice working with you. Hopefully we'll see you over the fence. Saber 2-0 out.
Still loving the voiceovers in this campaign. They sound great. I am going to make one more pass on that radar tower, just because there's some targets still down there. Our instructions here are to exfil the range to the west at 15,000 feet for RTB. We will do that right after I get these last 100 and what do we got left? 234 rounds left on this gun. And let's see if we can get him piled up right there. Alright.
Altitude. Altitude.
See if we get some good hits. Oh yeah. Alright, looking good. Climbing out 15,000 feet, heading west. Not too bad. Not too bad. 5,700 pounds of gas left. Mission success. Directed to RTB, so that is what we will do. $9,000 feet. 10 grand. Oriented west. Music is a nice touch, huh? Starting to slowly bring the nose down, leveling off at Angels 15. Looks like we're just above it. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and set barometric altitude, hold at this altitude. And I'm also going to dial TAC in for Incirlik, which is 21 X-ray. So come down here to TAC in, toggle TAC in on, clear out what we got, go 2-1, transmit, receive, X-ray, enter. Come down here to the HSI, plug in TAC in. We will go nose on Incirlik. We are 82.1 miles away. Take it out of air-to-ground mode, put the aircraft into safe. I'm going to bring the HSI up to this page, actually, over here. Not really worried about radar right now. I'm going to silence that guy, bring up our landing checklist just in case that becomes an issue later on. Let's double check the FPAS page just to get a better idea of our current range. We should be totally healthy. So best range is at 0.56 Mach. We are going a lot faster than that. I'm going to dial it back just a tad to be a little bit more efficient. Optimum range, 0.82. We have 334 miles till we're at 2,000 pounds of gas, so we're doing perfectly fine. No major concerns here. All right, I will go ahead and put the checklist up. We're still a ways out from needing it, but it's a good habit to be in. And then down here, I'll leave the SA page up. I'm gonna scan that in just a little bit. And then I want to take a look at, I think we have Incirlik's airfield map here as well. All right, so they've got elevations 232. We have a runway 05, it looks like, so I could dial that now. I'm going to hold off. But we're expecting a 05 approach. Well, we took off in that direction, so it might be a 23 approach. We'll see. And then, from what I remember, taxiway-wise, land on the active, expecting runway 23. May get 05, we'll see. And then we will taxi into parking at the apron vicinity, hangar 19. Hey, the French guys are back. Hey there, boys. It's a nice view, huh? We finally hit bingo. We are cruising pretty quick. Mach 0.89, 23.0 miles from final. I'm going to come off the throttle just a tad.
Forward, 1-1, inbound. Forward, 1-1, fly heading 254, Forward 15, QFE 29.72, runway 05, to pattern altitude.
Alright, so they are looking for runway 05.
Forward 1-1, clear to land, runway 05, wind 030 at 3 meters per second.
Alright, light wind out of the 030, so that's my front left. Coming left just to get back on our heading here. We're cleared for inbound, still very high. But we've got some distance to go. Trying to get back down on glide slope, also trying to get back on approach. It's looking much better. Adding a little bit of power because I just need to be above a 5 degree on landing. That's looking okay at about a 4. A little bit of power. And wheels down on the brakes. We're going to get these landings a little better, I hope.
Forward 1-1, taxi to parking area,
Yes, sir. Like the voiceovers a lot. I like that low-level infill. Once I got eyes on the convoy, it was a hell of a lot of fun to do passes on the convoy. I really enjoyed marking that terrorist training camp as well. Doing a auto release through the clouds, pretty damn cool. The mission designers did a great job populating the airbase. It's cool seeing all the tankers out, all the other AI aircraft. The models on most of these just look really, really good. This Hemix is getting in the way, so I'm getting rid of that guy. Yeah, gorgeous. Coming down here, I guess that's taxiway in. Love seeing the hog over here too. How cool is that? I like that the flight crew's all populated on the ground as well. The airfield very much feels alive. You got ground crew, ground guides, dudes, infuelers, AI aircraft parked around. It's just neat. I don't see the other guys back yet. We saw them in the pattern. They may have just taxied to a different parking area. Because this is us. Alright, on the brakes, nose wheel steering to high, giving it some left pedal. Kind of line this up for a pushback. Parking brake set. All weapons are on safe. We are good to go. That was a hell of a mission. Had a blast. Excited to see what the next one is. If you guys are enjoying the DCS content, certainly let me know. If this OIR series is one that you want me to continue, I'd be happy to do it. These single player campaigns, people do a really good job on them, and I enjoy flying them every once in a while. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm Controlled Pairs. This is DCS World. I'll see you guys in the next one.